Oh my goodness, man. What's up? What's up, freaking party people? We're back. I know, I haven't done a video in, oh my goodness, oh so long. What have I been doing? I don't know. Okay. So when I used to film, I was in Florida and I would like run around my school or whatever. Now I'm back home because it's summer. So I'm just chilling. Got a little job, just working, trying to buy some stuff. A motorcycle. Hope they don't die on it. Should be good though. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just kind of have been procrastinating filming a video. I didn't know what to make a video on. I really did not. But it is like, what time is it? It's 2:06 a.m. on a random Thursday. I don't know. And I'm like, you know what? Let's make a video. So today we're talking about advice. All right, I don't know what I'm gonna name the video. I don't know what I'm gonna title this video. So something cool. Hopefully, I haven't thought of anything yet. But advice. Okay, so let's start by defining advice. Also, might be a little rusty here. I haven't done one of these in a freaking brick. Anyway, so to define advice, I would say that it's one person attempting to help another person out of a situation by using previous experiences to try and predict the future. Now, I guess that's the definition of good advice, because you've also got some, blind leading the blind, where you're just like, I would just, like, you take your friend's phone and you say what they're scared to say, texting a girl. That's terrible. That's bad advice, but it's really funny, so who cares? But yeah, good advice is when you're using past experiences to try and predict the future. That's like kind of how I define it. That's how I look at it. And then stop somebody from making a bad decision or helping them out of a situation. So, why is advice important, right? Stopping somebody from making the same mistake you did is personally what I try to do when I give people advice. And that's what I see typically, right? So there's the saying that history repeats itself, right? And it's kind of the same reason, like I got this weird thing where I like to look back to like ancient, I don't know, tribal villages. It's not actually, I'm LARPing. I don't really do that, but only with this. So they had elders, right? That was like a pretty common thing, I think, among, different continents and everything. Just people had elders, and you go to elders for advice. And the reason you go to elders for advice is because they've seen more and they know more. I talked about this in a now deleted video, so I'm just going to re-say it, but um, it's like you're in a drought and you're like talking down, you're like, we haven't seen rain in like 7 days. Like, do we sacrifice a couple kids or something? And the elder's like, oh, well, last time we sacrificed 8 kids, so let's do that this time. They sacrifice 8 kids, still doesn't rain because you're just, I mean, it's, I don't know. Little rant there about sacrificing children, which apparently they do now. Somebody's ripping that, a certain country. Not gonna say it. Israel. All right, let's keep it going though. So, stopping somebody from making the same mistake you did, right? Bad news bears, okay? So, I'm trying to think of a beautiful example of stopping somebody from making the same mistake you did, right? So, personally, cars is kind of like, that's a big thing in my life. So I'm around a lot of people who like cars. I'm around a lot of cars, and I've seen a lot of very interesting things with cars. And because of that, I have made plenty of mistakes with cars. I've made so many. So first, a mistake I've made is cutting off the mufflers on one of my cars, one of my older cars. It's called the Spoon. R.I.P. the Spoon. It died. Got totaled out by a cop. Freaking wild that was. But anyway, I cut the exhaust off the Spoon, and I actually tried to build my own. Um, yeah, that was really stupid. But I've also seen a lot of people cut exhaust off junk cars. It sounds stupid. But cut to, I don't know, 3 years later, when I was in Florida, and my roommate had this. It was like a 2022 Acura like SUV, pretty nice car. 2022. I mean, it's a very nice car. It was a very nice car. It didn't have a shifter though. It had these stupid little gay or not or well, let's figure out what month it was. You know what? It's men's. What is it? Mental Health Month. Sick, man. Yeah, hell yeah. Right? Hey, If you guys, sorry, super off topic. If you check up on your friends, right? That's what they say. That's like the thing. Here, hold on. I'm actually watch this. Wait, live video. Hold on. All right, friend checked up on. All right. Anyway, what the frick was I talking? Oh yeah, so he had this this Acura, and he's like, hey, you know, I wanna. He asked me to cut the exhaust off, and I was like, dude, no. Okay, listen. I'm your boy, and I'm telling you this as your boy. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not. We're not doing that. That is the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Don't do that. That is a terrible idea. Like, that is just. Don't do that. It's gonna sound awful, and it's gonna ruin the car. And he was like, okay, and he listened, and he didn't do it. So I actually kind of lucked out there. I would have done it for him, obviously, if he really wanted it, but I'm glad he listened to me. And the idea that that was just an absolutely disgusting decision, and it would have panned out terribly. But what do you do if people are unreceptive to advice? Now, this is like, I want to say a pet peeve of mine, but it doesn't, like, I feel it doesn't feel right saying it's a pet peeve, because you know, it's kind of like a thing of like, who am I, right? And we've I think my last video was about that one girl. I don't know if I name dropped her. Jeez, man, that was freaking something. That's all chill now, by the way. I don't really remember where I left that. I left that off on, but I'm chill. I don't really think about her anymore. Kind of just like a whatever kind of thing, you know. Learn some stuff, buzz my head over it. Not over it. I just not buzz my head. I got an issue with that. Anyway, all right, back to the video. So, what do you do if somebody is unreceptive to advice? All right. Now, from my experience, and when I say my experience, I mean I was pacing around my house for about 3 minutes, I think, and I thought of 4 different times where I've seen it. First one, people not caring, okay? So there's the kind of thing of like, somebody knows it's a bad decision and they're gonna just make it anyway. And I've done this before. I've done this a lot. We're gonna get into this a little more, but my father, he gives me a lot of advice, and he says, don't buy a motorcycle. And I say, yeah, I'm good. I don't care. I'm gonna buy a motorcycle. I'm not gonna listen. I'm gonna buy a motorcycle. And that's mainly because I understand why he's telling me not to buy a motorcycle, right? It's dangerous. You gotta worry about other drivers. You know, you're on a freaking like little tiny 400-pound freaking, I don't even know what the shape of that rectangle, maybe, I don't know, compared to a big enclosed, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, and I think through that, and I'm like, all right, logistically speaking, am I okay with, you know, being subjected to, you know, more harm in an accident compared to a car in exchange for having more fun on the bike? Yes, I am. And that's fine. That's a good exchange. I like it. So I don't really care. But let's get into my one buddy who actually I just checked up on. We call him Big P. Does he have access to this channel? He does. He might. Hey P, what's up P? Yeah, he might be watching this. I don't know. But so last night at like 3 o'clock in the morning, it's kind of like one of the reasons I'm making this video. All right, here's his position right now. So he's 19. He's never had a job his entire life. He got held back in like 7th grade or something. So he just graduated high school. So yay, graduate, yay. Graduated like, I don't know, 3 days ago. But yeah, sick, right? So he's never had a job. He has a car, but the drive shafts on it's kind of jacked. So he doesn't want to take it too far away from his house. So he's loosely looking for jobs for the past like year or two. He says he's applying. What he does is he goes, yeah, I'm going to work at this grocery store. And I'm like, okay, have you applied? No. Are they hired? No. Have you talked to anybody? No. I just looked at it and I want to work there, so I'm going to work there. No, you're not. He said that maybe 3 or 4 times. So, yeah. Anyway, we're now at the point where he's graduated high school, still no job. He's been saying it for years. But what's he going to do now, right? Because I'm like, so what I told him, which I kind of thought about making a video on this, but I don't think there's enough topic to talk about. So listen up. It's very important here. High school, up until you graduate high school, everything, I don't want to say it's handed to you, but it's handed to you. Everything is just given to you, right? You show up at a bus stop, you get on, you can float, whatever, and you go home, and then you do that like, so many years and you get a diploma. That's the way it works, right? But after that, everything that comes to you, you have to reach out and you have to grab it. So if you want a job, you have to apply. If you want to go to college, you have to apply, you have to work hard, you have to get good grades. And especially, like if you're in college, you have to go to class. Like, especially if the class is optional, people just don't go. And it's like, why are you paying? You know what I mean? That makes me mad. But it's like, you have to reach out and you have to grab something. It's not handed to you anymore. So I told that to him and I was like, listen, like, you can't just sit here and jerk around and say that you're going to get a job soon. You literally have to tee up and apply. Because I've made the mistake of, like, loosely applying, like what he's doing, like where I apply to like one job every week and I'm like, oh, I'm applying. And what happens is I sit around and I do nothing for 3 weeks, flies by, obviously, because I'm doing nothing but playing video games. And I finally get a job and I think back to those 3 weeks and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had a job. That entire time, I just wish I'd buckled down, applied, got a job, started making money. Literally, I've done that probably 2 or 3 times where I've come to that realization. And I know it'll probably happen to him. He's probably going to be like, oh, wow. He won't admit it, but he'll be like, wow, I wish for the past 2 years I'd been making money instead of doing absolutely nothing. But whatever, right? Yeah. So what he's got going on right now, he's out of high school, and he's going to like Europe or something in, I think, tomorrow. So whatever, he's going there for a week. So what he's been saying for the past like 2 or 3 weeks is that he's going to Europe, so he doesn't want to apply yet, and then he'll do it when he gets back. No, he won't. But he's telling me, here's what he's saying to me. This is making me so upset. He says, I want to work at a bowling alley. Why do you want to? Why? Like, we had this conversation and he just left last night because he didn't want to talk about it. But he's like, I want to work at a bowling alley. I'm like, all right, let me ask you. Why would you work at a bowling alley for like a year or two when you could go and become a welder or a construction worker or any sort of trade? He's not going to college, or any sort of trade. Why would you just go to a company that has no room for growth and working just minimum wage? Why would you do that when you could start on an actual career? And he's like, he's like, because I have the opportunity. It doesn't mean anything. I have the opportunity to swerve into oncoming traffic every time I pass a car. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he understands that my way is probably better, and he just doesn't care. He literally just wants to. I don't understand it, but he doesn't care. Anyway, next person. She also has access to this channel. She did block me on literally everything over this conversation. Well, kind of. What did I do? I blocked her on messages so she wouldn't try to FaceTime me. Then she blocked me on TikTok and Instagram. So anyway, this girl, I've known her for like a very long time, probably like 6 years maybe, and I've seen her go through a lot of different seasons in life. Like when I met her, she was a little rambunctious, a little heavy on the drugs, right? Big heavy on the substances. And then she was a little like ghetto and ratchet for a little bit. And then I watched her flip her life around, right? And she came to God, and I was like, okay, that's sick, right? She was sending me pictures and Bible verses and everything. I was like, all right, cool. And then she kind of, that kind of dissolved, and she went back to, normal life there. But what I see is she was falling back into these substances, right? And I'm watching her do this, and her, I don't know, she was dating this guy who was like, okay, mind you, here's another thing with advice. She comes to me, we're going to talk about this with the next guy, but she comes to me and she says, hey, the new guy I'm about to start dating, he's a murderer. I said, what? Yeah, he's killed somebody in a drive-by. I was like, are you serious? Like, that's insane. In GTA, obviously, but I was like, that's weird, nobody plays GTA anymore, or whatever. Anyway, yeah, insane. So I was literally off rip. I was like, don't take that guy. GTA's a weird game, right? Wink, wink. Not wink, wink. That was in GTA. Dude, I've never really played GTA. I've never really gotten into it. Anyway, that guy broke her heart. Wonder why. And she kind of came like a femcel. Like, you know what a femcel is? It's like kind of like a man hater. I guess like maybe a feminist kinda. I don't know. But she had this weird. We had so many conversations about it, where she's telling me that, oh, men are so bad. Oh, men only want this. Men only want that. And I'm like, I don't really like. I don't like this. I don't like. You're talking to a man and you're saying all these really mean things that aren't really applicable. Like, listen, I'm not a very lustful individual. I don't like chase women for their bodies. It's just not something I'm into. And so she's saying that that's all men and that's all they do. And I'm like, well, like, you have a living example standing in front of you. And she's like, okay, yeah, not you, you're the exception. I'm like, oh, sick. Okay. And then I'm like, I don't know. It was just so stupid. But I'm watching her, like, fall into drugs and into, like, I guess love. I don't know, with her ex. I don't know. But well, not love. I don't know. It was like a weird. I don't know. I really don't care. But she was like starting to hate men essentially, and just thinking all of them are bad, and it was kind of like depressing her a little bit, and I felt really bad, And I watched her repost on TikTok. They just pop up. I could never scroll through them. It'd be really upsetting. But yeah, I'm watching it, and I'm just watching, like, it just looks like sadness, and I'm like, man, this is terrible. Like, I don't want to see my friend live like this, right? So I'm like, hey, like, I see you're going down this path, and this is what I say to her. I mean, you're going down this path, I don't think this is good. Like, I remember when you used to be like this, and you were happy, and essentially, she just was like, oh, who do you think you are? You don't know me, all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, and she's like insulting me. I'm like, listen, like, man, I'm just trying to help you. I don't know why you're coming at me. And it's probably because she felt like I was attacking her, but I really, like, I was really framing it as nice as I could. Like, I really just want her to be happy. And she's like, doing all this weird stuff with it. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and ruin my day over it, right? She sends me stuff, like, I think what made me block her, oh my gosh, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. She sends me a TikTok, and it's like this woman, and she's like, hey women, hey other women, men have never thought about love. And I'm like, oh, sick, like, that's a good start. And then she goes and she says, men have, like, never thought about a wedding. They have never thought about, like, taking you to dinner or something, like, just a bunch of stuff, like just love, like romance. And she says that all they think about is sex and the next thing they're gonna eat. Like I'm some sort of, like, primate. Like I'm a Neanderthal. I'm like, I watched that, and she sends me that and says, is this true? Is that... What? Literally, like the audacity to even ask that question, I'm like, okay, sick. So I think I just responded, I was like, there's something actually wrong with you, and I just blocked her. I was like, I'm not gonna let you, drop this man-hating stuff on me and try to ruin my day. I'm living the low court life, bud. We're not doing that. But yeah, so the reason she was unreceptive to advice is because I'm watching from the outside, right? I can see what's happening. I can see the progression way better than she can see it. I can see that she's falling back into what she was really unhappy in previously. And she doesn't see that, and she doesn't listen to me, so for that reason, blocked. Anyway, next person here, I got my buddy. Alright. My buddy for a long time. I don't even know. He's probably watching this video right now. We were hiking the other day. And, I mean, we were just chatting about his situation. He's in a freaking pickle right now. And this is actually also applicable to my cousin. Let's talk about my cousin. He's probably a better example. My cousin's talking to this girl, and he kind of had a bit of a glow up. So he never really, like, chatted too many girls. But he really liked this girl, and he wanted my help. And he's like, all right, I've already messed up. What do I do now? And I'm like, okay, here's what I was talking for so long that my headset died. Anyway, here's what you do. You text her this, and you say that you're sorry. And he's like, okay, sick. An hour later, He's like, oh, she texted me back. I'm like, what'd you say? He's like, oh, she said, F me and she hopes I die. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? All you said was sorry. And he's like, oh, no, no, I didn't say sorry. I said the complete opposite. What? He's like, yeah, yep. I was like, so you took what I said and did the opposite of it. He's like, yep, that's exactly what I did. Yep. And he's like, all right, what do I do now? And I was like, what do you do now? I was like, okay, listen, now just don't text her. Don't say anything. Like, just leave it for now. You know, come back in a few days if you really want her. He's like, all right, yeah, sure. And then she texted him. And I'm like, well, she double texted you? No, I texted her. I was like, oh, sick. So after I told you not to text her, you texted her, and it got worse. So he just keeps not listening to me, and it keeps getting worse. And what's happening is it's infatuation, right? He is like, okay, you know what? That's something. But as a better example of infatuation is the friend I was talking about earlier, we went hiking. And he's got this girl, and he's telling me these things, like she's lying about her body count to him. I'm not even going to go through the stuff because honestly, I don't even want to say it out loud. I know he's watching this too, and that's what's so funny about it. Anyway, yeah, just it's bad. But he asked me, he's like, you know, do you think this girl's like good? No, dude, no. And it's like, I know whatever I tell him, it doesn't matter. Because he's gonna, just because the infatuation part of it, he's gonna make up an excuse for her, which hey, we've all been there, right? Just making up excuses for other people to justify them in our own heads. But he's just gonna do that for like, I don't know, a while, and be really unhappy for a little bit and stressed out, and then he's gonna break up with her, and then he's gonna be like, wow, you know, I really wish that I would have just listened to you. And it's like, that's exactly what I told him previously with a different girl. It's like, wow, I wish I would have just, because you know, you get in this state of infatuation and it's like nothing matters. The only thing that matters is keeping this girl. But everybody around you is trying to say, hey, that girl's not for you, but nope, you want to keep her. So another reason people don't take advice is they're just not in the proper headspace for it. That's the message of that. And now, fourth and final person, we got this girl. I met her a couple, I don't know, weeks ago at work. She's actually moving pretty she's actually moving 3 hours away to the same place where that other girl, the man-hater, is. So, the femcel. So, super interesting there. Maybe they'll be friends. Probably not. But, anyway. So, the other day, me and her went to go buy a car. She wanted a car. I don't really know why, but she wanted one, so I'm like, sure, man. I'll help you buy a car. She doesn't really know anything about cars, which is fine. But really quick, we go to buy this car, okay? And if you don't know anything about cars, just like, I don't know, close your ears, something. I'm gonna explain this. I don't feel like dumbing it down to, you know, not dummy. You know what I mean. But pretty much this car, the transmission is slipping. Like it's literally just not grabbing drive. It's not grabbing reverse. It's just slipping. It's an automatic. And the guy's like, oh yeah, that's the neutral safety switch. I'm like, dude, no, it's not. He's like, yeah, it is. Look at this paper AutoZone gave me. And I'm like, yeah, the paper that said, so a neutral safety switch is, it prevents you from starting the car if it's in drive. And sometimes it's a button you can push to take it out of park with the car still being off if like there's no oil in it or something. And I'm like, yeah, so that's not grabbing gear. That has nothing to do with a neutral safety switch or anything. So, and I don't even think it had to do with a range sensor either, which is the other thing he was trying to claim, which two separate things, but whatever. And I don't think yeah, not gonna get into it, but yeah, he was trying to scam the hell out of her. Anyway, he's trying to scam her, and I'm like, hey, why don't we not buy this car? And she's like, oh, but I love it. I'm like, what do you love it? It's a freaking, what was it, a Honda Accord maybe? It's like it was just a black Honda Accord with tan interior. She's like, I love it. Mind you, the what the frick you call that? How do I forget the name of it? Headliner. The headliner is literally thumbtacked in. It looked, it was a perimeter of thumbtacks holding the headliner in. She's in love with the car. I'm like, dude, we're not, like, don't buy this car. I told her, like, buy this. Listen. Like, we walked away from the guy. I'm like, don't buy this car. Do not buy this car. She's like, oh, but I want the car. I want it so cool. It's so freaking, I don't know. I don't even know. But anyway, so I walk over to the guy. He had it up for like 3,500. I'm like, dude, I'll give you like 2,500. He's like, I can't do 25. I was like, all right, what? At that point, he's like, I can't do 25. I was like, what's the lowest you'll do? Like, I don't even feel like negotiating. He's like, I'll do 28. I was like, all right, cool. Sure, 28. So then I go to the girl. I'm like, he said 28. She's like, yeah, that's fine. Let's do 28. She was going to give him 34, so she didn't care. But yeah, she walks over, shakes his hand on 28, and I'm like, all right, man, like, we go drive to a notary now. Like, let's get it resolved. So 7-minute drive to this notary. Me and her get in the car. We're driving. He's obviously in the car that she's trying to buy. And I'm like, listen, don't buy this car. You have a car. This is the most pointless thing of all time. Don't buy this car. And she just, like, I couldn't understand it, but she just really wanted this car. And I was like, I don't know why. I don't know why she really wants this car. It was like really confusing. But it seemed like there was just something going on. And I still don't exactly know what it is. I haven't really known her for that long, obviously. So, but yeah. She really wants this car, so that's, you know, I ended up convincing her out of it. I'm like, just don't buy this car. And she did take my advice. I'm so glad she did, because that car the transmission would have slipped and it would have been, it's been terrible. The transmission was down the drain. But anyway, she gets back to her house, whatever. I take her home. Excuse me, folks. It's freaking, 2:30. Anyway, gets back to her house, and her dad's outside, and I'm like, she like mentioned that her dad didn't even know that she was going to buy the car, and I was like, oh frick, like I feel like that's something I would have told my dad about. And she's like, yeah, well, I don't remember the exact conversation, but she's like, yeah, I don't know, he thinks it's a stupid idea and he's a hater. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's got it right. He's got it right. Like, you have a running car, wait for your current car to stop working, and then go buy a car. I understand, like, wanting to pre-fire it and, not being out of a car for, like, a week or two. But, I mean, it's kind of just better to let one die. But, yeah. And, I don't know, it's possible that buying that car was sort of an act of defiance and independency from her father. I don't really know. I don't really care. Nothing to do with me. All that matters is that she did not buy the car. So, what was the point of that story? I don't remember. Well, let me look at my script here that has like 7 words on it. I don't know, man. Sure. Freaking something, dude. I don't know. Alright, you know what? I got an idea. The viewer now has to take something from that story. So you can look at that, you can pause it, you can think, whatever you need to do. But sick. Anyway, back to the entire thing, advice here. So if you think about it, this entire channel is essentially just my definition of advice, right? Using past experiences to try and predict the future and help other people out, right? All I talk about is experiences from my life and, kind of what happened after. That's why, I don't really want to talk about girls too much on here, but that's why I figured I should do it at least for the last video, just because it was kind of important at the time. But, and that's a big issue. You know what? Unrelated. I think that, what was that? I just got a Discord notification. Oh. What? Ew. What the hell is this guy talking about? I asked him if he was okay, because remember, men's mental health, whatever. And he said, yeah, 'tis but a flesh wound. I literally don't know what that means. Gonna leave that right there. I don't really, no idea what that's about. Let's keep it going. What the frick was I talking about? Darn it. Darn it, man. I know now. I had to rewatch it. Alright, so, unrelated. I think that, like, finding a girl, like, some people say, like, tell me, like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't, like, you're thinking too much about women or whatever. Shut up. No, I'm not. Finding a wife is genuinely the biggest decision you will ever make in your entire life. And well, except for obviously following Jesus if you're down that route. But I don't think I could be convinced otherwise. Your wife, like, if you ever see one of those charts of, like, people you spend time with the most, right? After you're like 30, 20, 25, 30, and you have a wife, that is literally who you spend the rest of your life with, Like you're just, it's, and you know, my dad, like, I'm trying to think, like, the last time he just went out with some guys, right? You know, probably like maybe a couple times a year, like max. And then him and my mom go out with, you know, other couples like every weekend. And it's like, you know, that's life. Like your wife is who you were always with, you know. Your friends are you and your wife's friends, you know. Everything's just based around who your wife is. I don't know. So I think that's an extremely important decision. I think it's something that you should be very careful about. And make sure you're receptive from outside advice, right? And don't fall in love with a whore. Or, you know what? Apparently, that's like derogatory terminology. And to that, I say, if somebody drops an insult on the ground, whoever picks it up, it probably applies to, right? That's probably not the quote, but I don't really care. But anyway, yeah, here we go. Back to the video. Sick. All right. What am I? Oh yeah, sure. Well, it just says what to do about it. I don't know what to do about what, but sure. Oh yeah, here we go. This is something I've been ripping for a little bit here. Only take advice from people you want to be like, right? If I got some bum in my ear telling me something, I might take the advice as what not to do, but I'm not gonna be like, you know, some heroin addict is telling me how to spend my money. You know, I'm not gonna listen to him because I'm gonna become a heroin addict. If he's like, yeah, go buy heroin, guess what? You know what I mean? So take advice from people you want to be like. All right, don't fall into the trap of some bum, right? A big thing is you have to be open-minded and respectful when receiving advice. So the respect is a big thing. Just that from my end, I'm pacing around my room now. It's getting serious. Just from my end, you know, like whenever I try to give somebody really, like I just try to be very nice when I give advice. And you know, I understand some people don't want to hear it, and that's fine. Just tell me that, and I won't tell you. But I try to be nice, and sometimes people are just really mean. Like they're just rude, and I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to help you. Like, stop being so angry and mean. Like, that's how I know what I'm saying is applicable, because you're getting so defensive. So just try to be open-minded, you know, think about what they're saying, and think about if it applies to you, and, you know, be kind, right? And the other part of that, of how it applies to you, so this is something that I always do. I break everything down extremely logistically in my head. It's something I learned through years of school, and not understanding things in class because they don't make logistical sense to me, and I need somebody to explain it on a bit of a different level. So, highly recommend learning how you learn, though. That's really useful. But, yeah. I like to think, why is somebody thinking like this? So let's take the example of that girl, right? My friend, right? That tried to go buy the car. Why did she want to buy that car so much? I have literally no idea. It's possible it was an act of defiance, maybe not, maybe, I don't know. Let's say it is, right? Let's say it's an act of independence. Then now I know that the car, the quality of car, whatever, none of that really matters. She's not actually looking at that. She's just looking at, I pulled $3,000 out of my bank account without my dad knowing, drove 2 hours away, bought a car, and brought it home without him knowing. That's what she was thinking about. And it's like, okay, she's thinking about that. I'm going to think about the quality of vehicle she brings home. And that's why I was trying so hard to push that into her head. I'm like, listen, your car's like that. This car you're trying to buy is a piece of junk. But yeah, got us out of a pretty sticky pickle, as somebody weird would say, because that is a weird thing to say. Sticky pickle. That's not. Pickle shouldn't be sticky. But yeah. That's the video. This is, I guess, one big piece of advice on how to give advice, right? I think that's what, I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of sad to end this video, actually. I don't know, it's kind of fun recording. The thing is, I really enjoy, I enjoy making, I don't enjoy it anymore. I enjoy making videos. I just don't know what to make videos about. And so, I mean, you know, if anybody's got anything they want me to make a video on, literally comment it. I mean, if it's something cool, I'll make a video on it. But hey, in the meantime, right, Reminder, okay? Nothing is impossible, and everybody who says something is hard is just LARPing difficulty, and they want you to think more of them because, you know, they want you to see them as somebody who can do hard things. But in my free time, I've learned kind of really bad right there, but I've kind of learned guitar a little bit. I've been learning how to fish. I've just been cranking it honestly in the free time, but you know, just doing random stuff. That's what's important, right? Go explore life. I've been outside a lot, you know. There's a lot to life, man. There really is. There really is. Get out there, do cool stuff, do stupid things, and make memories, man. Make stories. I don't know. Sounds like I'm saying this like I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna die yet. Probably. I don't know. Okay, well, it's pretty late here. I think I'm gonna end this video. It's been a fun one. Comment your thoughts, questions, concerns, whatever the frick down below. And hopefully it doesn't take me another 4 months to make a video. Alright, see you guys.